It is a SCORCHA, as we say here in Rhode Island, a SCORCHA. I don't even know if I spelled it correctly in the captioning, but what it basically means is that it's wicked hot today. It is so hot, actually, that a lot of schools have made it a half day. And our school has not made it a half day because schools in Rhode Island don't have air conditioning. It is hot. It is hot here. Yes, we're in New England, but I gotta tell you, it gets hot. And it gets hot in June. It gets hot in September. And this isn't even the hottest day that it's been while my kids have been in school. When my little lad began kindergarten, no joke, it got up to 100 degrees that day. I think like on his first or second day of kindergarten. And they were just saying, okay, well, we'll just make sure that the kids have a lot of water. And you just have a leap of faith in these unair conditioned 50-plus-year-old classrooms that a room of 23 to 30 students plus a teacher are going to somehow magically survive. So here in Rhode Island, very few schools, it doesn't matter, public, private, anything like that, they do not have air conditioning. They'll have air conditioning in the administrative office area frequently, but not the actual classroom. So it's just so sad. So do me a favor, tell me what the weather's like where you are. Of course, you could put a hashtag Hello Lovely right down in the comments below. That's your little way to wave to me, give me a high five over the internet. I love to see who's tuning in and say a little hello back to you. But also it just helps. It helps me see who's here. So I am going to be doing a bit of makeup, as I have some things going on today. I did just get a haircut, a hair trim. It probably doesn't look that different as I am growing my hair out because I had a pixie cut prior to the panorama, and then I went through a wonderful mullet phase, and now I'm just embracing all of the things long hair. But every once in a while you still have to take care of it. So I am putting on a little bit of sunscreen as I have spots on my face that I also had lasered off. It's been a fun week for me. Hot and laser face. I had things taken care of, just areas on my face that it's nothing necessarily cancerous and things to worry about, but it's things that have just happened over time that they needed to get rid of. So one of the biggest things you should be doing every single day is putting on sunscreen, but especially if you've had your face lasered off like you were in some kind of crazy science fiction movie. It was insane. I've never had anything like that done before, so it was a new experience. I've had things frozen, but not lasered. So let me know, as I said, where you're tuning in from and what the weather is like. But I just had my hair cut. And today I had planned on tackling a bit more work than I am going to actually do, because since it is so hot, I called our school and I said, oh, hey, just wanted to check in. Do the buses have air conditioning? The kids are going to be in the school on this long, hot day, and they're just going to need to survive and grin and bear it. And I'm pretty sure I probably went to school when it was this hot at some point, because the schools are pretty much the same as they were back when I was in school in the 80s and 90s. But the more I was thinking about it, is they're going to have this whole day with school in the heat, and they both have after school activities today, and then they have to take a bus ride home. And we live about 30 minutes away from our school. So I called the school and I said, is there AC on the bus? And they said no. So my day is now going to be cut in half, as I am going to meet the trek and go pick up the kids so that they can have an air-conditioned ride home. I just wrapped up my skincare, did some moisturizer, some sunscreen, some eye cream, and now I'm going to start my makeup as I have my first wind ensemble rehearsal tonight. So excited to play my saxophone again. I actually have a brand new mouthpiece. And for those of you who have never been a musician that needed to use a mouthpiece before, this is like a big deal. I mean, it takes a long time to get used to, but my saxophone has been having some issues recently. It just hasn't been playing a couple of notes the way that I would want them to. So I decided to get it checked out, and my friend who fixes up my saxophone, he said I did what I could to it, but honestly, I think if you get a new mouthpiece, you'll be able to play those notes a little bit better. So crossing fingers that this is going to make a big difference, but I have not been able to practice on said instrument as much as I would have liked to really kind of get used to it and get the feel that I would like. Thank you so much for the hashtag Hello Lovely. Hope you're doing well. All right, so I do need to put on some makeup that is going to be sweat proof and long lasting and also keep me going through my music rehearsal tonight. So as I said, I did my skincare. Skincare prep is super important. If you wear makeup, if you wear foundation and you don't like the way that it sits, it's flaky, it's got different issues, one of the first things you can do is honestly work on your skincare, because your face is your canvas, and if your canvas isn't as taken care of as you possibly can, the makeup, there's no amount of makeup that's gonna like fix it. So you want to really work on your skincare first. And oftentimes when you have good skincare and your skin starts to be as healthy and happy as it can, you'll actually find that you'll want to wear less makeup because your skin will be looking great. My skin is a hot mess express right now because I did have some things lasered earlier this week, so I definitely want to do a little extra makeup to make myself feel a bit more confident. Got all your weather yesterday and the day before. I know. I'm hoping it ends soon. We actually are going to be going up to New Hampshire next weekend up for the New Hampshire Highland Games and go see bagpipes and dancing and Highland cows and all the different competitions. I'm using a Prime and Set powder right now. I did use a Prime and Set mist. I'm doing what is called a setting spray sandwich, which is incredibly useful if you need super long lasting wear. If you're in a really humid or hot environment, maybe you have a holiday or a wedding, or you have long time commitments day and night. I just find for my skin doing a light mist of the setting spray in between different layers makes a massive difference for the hold. But I am doing this Prime and Set powder as I am going to want to mattify my makeup look a little bit more. I'm a big dewy makeup person. I find it so nice and youthful, but I feel like my sweat alone today is going to accomplish any and all dewiness that I would want. And rather than just look like a sweaty mess, I'm going to combat that with this Prime and Set powder. What's cool with this Prime and Set powder is that it blurs out your texture. So big pores, kind of fine lines, things like that. And it is going to create a really flawless canvas. I have friends who put on their skincare, just their like moisturizer and SPF, and then they put this on top and they feel like they have an Instagram filter on their face. It's so good. Now, just so y'all know, my face products, so my foundation, my blush, my bronzer, my setting products, concealer, are on sale this month at minutewithmary.com. If you do need a color match, I'm doing them complimentary. You just send me a little message and I can help you on out there. I want to make sure that you get something that you feel fabulous for, especially as we head into a new season. Hello, thanks so much. Don't forget to put hashtag hello lovely, as that way I can say hello properly and see who's hanging on out. All right, so the cool thing with this Prime and Set powder is you don't necessarily have to wait for it to set. A lot of primer fills in your fine lines and pores and creates a smoother canvas, kind of like pothole filler for your roads. Rather than having a bumpy canvas, the primer is going to really smooth it out, so you use less foundation because it's not all having to fill in the holes. It's going to appear more smooth, but it also acts like a Velcro, so the makeup stays on your face better. So that's what primer does. I didn't used to know about primer. I could just like throw makeup on my face, and by the time I'd get to whatever activity I was going to, I was like, why does it look like I have nothing on? It's because I didn't have a primer on. Thank you so much for the hello lovelies. Really appreciate it. Today I am going to be wearing my Serum Plus Foundation. This has anti-aging skincare inside of it. So you do need to shake it up so that the makeup and the skincare are nice and blended together. You can have a dewy or a matte look with this foundation depending upon the priming and setting products that you have. So let me know, do you like a dewy or a matte look? I mix my winter and my summer color. Rather than buying a transition time color, I just mix the two. So that's a fun little tip for you. September and October are often transition months when it comes to your foundation. And some people are the same color year round. Let me know if that's you, because if so, you're a magical unicorn. I change, and what I like to do is I like to put the two different shades, my summer shade and my winter shade, on my hand, and then I blend it out from there. So rather than have like 4 different shades of foundation for my skin, I can adjust it as I get tanner or as I get paler. So it's a pretty cool thing. So if you do know kind of like your two main shades, if you're someone who tans or changes shades in between the seasons, that's a fun little tip for you. So I'm using a kabuki brush. It's a flat tipped brush, and I'm just going to press the makeup into my skin. Just a couple of drops. I did about 3 drops on the back of my hand. Sometimes what I do if I just have one shade is I just tap my brush and I make sure it gets all over the bristles, and then I put it on. I see a lot of people putting liquid products in their brush. I don't like that. I find it harder to clean, and I just think that you're wasting a lot of product. So I either recommend you applying it quickly to your face, or having it on like a plate or a palette or even the back of your hand and dipping the brush so the makeup's just sitting on the tip of the bristles, and then you can really get the most bang for your buck and apply it to your face. So what you just saw is I kind of mixed them on the back of my hand. I took clean fingers and applied the makeup straight to my face, and now I'm just pressing and tapping. This kind of makeup application, stippling is what it's called if you're a painter, really helps press it into your skin so that way it melds and looks like it's your skin rather than it looking like you have makeup all over your face. Swirling it doesn't necessarily do it justice. It sometimes just moves the product around, whereas pressing it like this is a really great way to make your makeup look flawless. I wear one shade because I'm a very pale girl all year. I thought I wore one shade all year, and I don't. Even though I wear SPF and I protect my face and I wear like hats all summer and everything, I definitely am a neutral undertoned person, which means that I tan. So there's cool undertones, which very rarely change color, and if so, it's very mildly. Then there are warm-toned people who tan, and then there's neutral undertoned people who sometimes like burn and then tan. So that's me. I've got pinks and yellows in my skin to create a neutral undertone. I'm still on the fair shade when it comes to all of the shades. Like when I go to tan, it's like I'm a smidge. I'm barely a cooked marshmallow. I'm like the marshmallows taken out of the package. I went from white as a marshmallow to now I'm exposed to air, and I got a little bit of color somewhere on me. All right, so this once again is my Serum Plus foundation. It has skincare built inside of it, and if you saw when I first applied it, I put the first drop right on this brown spot. This is the most prominent of my lasered spots. If I wanted to, I could really amp up the coverage. I could put concealer on it. I could put a little bit more foundation on it. To me, just having it kind of lessened right now is good for me. I don't necessarily need to mound tons of layers on. If you want a truly blank canvas, you can do it because it is a buildable foundation. You could also take concealer to it. Hi Jessica, you said I sent a comment on YouTube, but I don't know if it's working. You folks got our weather. Yes, Tuesday it was 97 and muggy. Then it was 90 and stormed yesterday. So I hope that the relief is coming. Thank you so much, Jessica. I really appreciate it. Sorry, I've got an itch under my nose. And sometimes I find when you get an itch on your face and you're applying makeup, it's easiest just to kind of like pat with the brush rather than scratch at your face a little bit. All right, so what this did is it's a very nourishing, anti-aging foundation because it has that skincare, so it's going to help kind of plump my skin and help against signs of aging while also giving coverage. I love that it's buildable because I can just put a little bit on where I don't feel like I'm wearing makeup, but it made a big difference to me. Now, as I said, I'm going to be going in crazy heat. I've got band rehearsal tonight. I've got podcasting tonight. So I am doing layers with my Prime and Set Mist. What I love this for is for people who have big pores, people who have fine lines, people who feel like, oh, my makeup never really like stays or it gets stuck in my fine lines. You just put a light mist on top of your foundation and then take that same tool and lightly pat. So this really pushes it in. It's like a light hairspray, but for your makeup. And you can of course do it at the very end of your routine. I like to do it in between, just to give that extra little hold. It's not heavy, it doesn't add weight. Honestly, it dries super quickly because it's a fine mist, but I know that this is adding security of hold onto the makeup. If you do need a color match, as I said, please just send me a little message, as I'd love to give you a color match, whether or not you're in the market for any makeup right now. That way you just know, you know what your undertones are, you know what kind of colors will work well for you, and when you know your coloring, you'll know like what blush is great, what lipstick's great, because so many times we have the incorrect shade of foundation, or we don't necessarily know our undertone, and then from there what happens is we may go out and like buy a lipstick that looks great on a sister, a mother, a friend, and then we put it on and it does not look good on us, and we're like, why does everything look so good on you but it doesn't work for me? It's because you have different shades, right? You have different undertones. So knowing your undertone makes a massive difference. Hey Rachel, how are you? Hey Chelsea, great to see you. Thank you so much for the hello lovelies. I really appreciate it. I'm just taking a little bit of some bronzer right here. What I'm going to do is add some angles to my face. When you do a bit of foundation coverage, whether it's medium or fuller coverage, you lose some of the dimension, you lose some of the natural shadowing to your face and some of your natural coloring. And that's great if you got things you're trying to cover up, or maybe you have splotchiness, but then you do need to add the color back. What's cool about it is that you get to be a painter, you get to be a Bob Ross, and you get to put the color back where you want it. So as I said, I've got a bit more to do today than I had planned, as I hadn't necessarily planned on picking my kids up at school, but I just don't want them to sit on that hot bus. This is their first year riding a bus, and so they've only done it now for a week, not even a week because there was the holiday. And yesterday wasn't the best day on the bus. Nothing bad, no bad kids, but I think my kids were hot. I think my kids were hot and they got on each other's nerves. So the more I thought about it today, I called the school and they were like, yep, definitely doesn't have air conditioning. And I was like, take the Larsons off. Take them off the bus. Mama's coming to pick them up today, as we do have after school commitments. And I know for me, if I get a little bit of respite and I get to be in some air conditioning, I think I might even get them lemonade. Look at me, mom of the year. But I might get them lemonade and just let them like sit in the car and have some quiet without the chaos of the bus and enjoy the air conditioning. Because that's what I would want. If I knew, okay, I had the whole long day at school and it was intense and hot and stuffy. Like, I'm fortunate enough I get to be in my house or at the hair salon when I got my hair trimmed, and there was air conditioning. But these poor little cherubs don't have air conditioning. Hello, Karen. How are you? Kendra says, do you have skincare products not big on makeup? Yes, Kendra, I totally do. Send me a message if you don't mind, Kendra, right there on Facebook, and I would love to help you. I have, whether it's like really targeted serums and skincare needs to facial cleansers or moisturizers or eye creams, I've got it all, because I really do believe when you take care of your skin, you're going to feel more confident. Maybe it means you wear less makeup, if any at all, but it'll just make you more confident in the skin that you have. So I am all about skincare, all about it. Something you need to step through. Oh, hey, you can message me too, Jessica. I've got some great things. 47-year-old mom, and to a 4 and 2-year-old. No way. Haven't worn makeup in years. I watch the videos, but I never get ambitious enough to do myself up. That was about the ages, Jessica, of my kids when I got into this. So I was never like a big makeup person. Okay, I was band girl, like total nerd all the time growing up. I was also an athlete, so I was either in the band classroom or on some kind of a sports thing. So I really wasn't like wearing makeup in high school. And then in college, I was not into wearing makeup. Once again, I was a music major. I was waking up at the crack of dawn to take calculus classes. I didn't need to take calculus classes. Once again, I was a music major. What was I doing? I'm just a professional nerd. So I really wasn't wearing that much makeup. I had never learned much about makeup growing up. And then I ended up learning a bit more when I landed a job on television. So in between teaching, I had my kids. No, this is before I had kids. I went down TV. In between teaching, music program got cut. And then I ended up going into the television and film industry. And when I was on TV, I learned a lot about makeup in regards to makeup on camera. Totally different than makeup in real life. You get done up like you're going to a wedding every single day on TV. And I had to do my own makeup. It's not like they had makeup people there. So it was a lot, but also it wasn't something I could like apply to my normal everyday life. So I learned about primer, and I learned about setting products, things to allow the makeup to stay on my skin much longer. I learned about quality makeup, you know, how the things that I had been purchasing before, not only were they cheap, but they often had a lot of bad chemicals in it. So I learned those things. But then after I was on TV, I had my kids. And I stopped wearing a lot of makeup because I didn't need it. I was home with my kids, right? And from there, I just kind of like didn't do anything for myself in general. And so one day I was like, I'm going to start to wear mascara. That's what I'm going to do. Like, if I just open up my eyes are one of my favorite things about myself. I'm taking a cream stick. This is a fantastic option for those of you who are makeup minimalists, don't wear anything. These sticks are a cream blush, so they're blush, lips, and even an eyeshadow. 10-hour wear, and it'll make you feel like $1,000,000 because you're like, look at me, I got a little something on. It even has a sponge on this side, so you don't even have to use your hands or use a brush. Super easy, you could throw it in your bag. This is also part of my special. So my September special is all these kind of base face items that you're seeing today. This shade is called Cinnamon Latte, perfect for fall. It's kind of like a reddish brown shade. It doubles often for me as a bronzer, just because it is a bit deeper. But I have like pink shades and a whole bunch of different things. But yeah, so I started just saying, okay, I'm going to wear some mascara. And I ended up finding this company that had fantastic mascara. It helped my lashes. And then also 10% of the proceeds of every sale goes to support survivors of childhood sexual abuse. So like, not only was I feeling good by putting on a little bit of mascara, but I knew I was helping other women out in the world. So that made me feel like, oh, it's so much more than mascara. Okay, I like this. And one thing led to another, and I began putting on a little bit more makeup and learning things along the way, because nobody knows this stuff. Nobody's born with it, right? We all just kind of learn as we go. And I saw a need for someone like me to have tips and tricks from a normal person, not like an influencer Amazon who's so much younger, but someone who had like real life tips and tricks. And so I figured, you know what, I could do this. I can help other people like me who are like, just show me the basics, explain these things to me that I never learned. And it has helped my confidence so much. It has helped me help other people, whether it is skincare, something as simple as mascara, or learning, like, here's your proper like base face foundations that'll take you throughout all the year. So whether you're going to weddings or holidays, or you just want to put on a little bit of makeup for date night or nights out with your friends, that you can feel like $1,000,000 and you'll feel confident. I think that was the big thing. Like, I never felt confident with my skills until I really started to do the research and try things and learn things a lot. And knowing that these products are so high quality, they don't have a lot of the junky fillers. The US lets a lot of bad chemicals into our self-care products. So these products at minutewithmary.com are by European standards. So I do ship into many countries around the world, which is really fun. And yeah, that's what I do. So I'd love to help. Jessica says my kiddos are 25, 22, 14 and 14. My grandkids are 4 and 6. I love that. I love it. So, okay, so the cool thing with, you're talking wrinkles, Jess, the foundation that I'm wearing plumps the skin. It's because it has sodium hyaluronate in it, so it actually helps like actively plump the skin. Because I've got me some wrinkles, but I do my good skincare, I hydrate, I drink a lot of water, and then I put on makeup that has skincare infused in it, so it's like a double dose. All right. So what I just added is I added a little bit of warmth with some bronzer, and I used that all-in-one color stick. I went on this higher portion of my cheekbone. You don't want to put blush too close to your nose, as then it might look like you have, a rash or rosacea or whatever, and bringing it upwards, kind of towards where your ear meets your hairline, is going to give a nice lifted look. It's going to help slim your face down. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's just a nice, easy thing. And as you can see, I still let my freckles shine through. I'm not full coverage right now. I'm not trying to cancel everything out. You can still see a little bit of the spots that I had lasered off, but that's okay, because to me, this just helps me feel a little bit more confident. Yay, I'm so glad you've learned so much from the tips. I really appreciate that. All right, so where am I going? I wanted to do a little something with my eyes because I'm gonna be seeing people today. I wanna feel a little fancy. For those of you who are my busy bees, my makeup minimalists, those of you who are frugal like myself, this is my favorite eyeshadow palette. So minutewithmary.com, you click shop here, you're gonna see like face, eyes, skincare, all this stuff. Honestly, message me and I can help you one-on-one, but this eyeshadow palette has 9 different shades and it's so easy. You just do tic-tac-toe. You're like, which 3 do you want to use? You can use 1, you can use 2. Honestly, every single one will go with each other just because they're paired so beautifully. But if you are like a makeup novice, just tic-tac-toe and you're good to go. So what I think I'm going to do today is I might do these 3. We're going to go for these 3 to do some little tic-tac-toe today. I wasn't even planning on doing eyeshadow before, but it is what it is. I'm here. Let's do this, right? Super oily skin. I'm 46 and sent my oldest off to college. I'm so happy for you, Kendra. So excited. So oily skin, I'll tell you one of the good things of oily skin. Oily skin means you're going to have less wrinkles. So that is always, whenever I have people like, oh no, I have oily skin, I'm like, no, it's also a blessing. It's just built-in natural moisturizer. But you have a different set of problems than friends who have dry skin. So a lot of people who have oily skin, some people who have oily skin actually have dry skin and they don't moisturize enough, so their skin is overcompensating. So that is a fun fact. I've had several friends who've gone to dermatologists or tried different skincare routines, and that is what they found out. So if you're not using hydrating products, Kendra, that might be something to start just to see, is your skin like crying for help? But another great thing too is to use some kind of a primer. So that creates a barrier. That was the thing that I said in the beginning. It fills in your pores and your fine lines like pothole fixer. It also creates a barrier so that way the oil doesn't break apart your makeup. A lot of people with oily skin find that makeup doesn't stay on their face because the oils wash away at it. But if you have a primer on that says, hey oils, do your thing, nourish the skin, but leave this makeup alone, and that's what it does. All right, so I used this light shade right here just as a base. I even love just wearing that. I just love wearing like a nice light shade. It brightens things up. I have a lot of veins and freckles on my eyelids, and sometimes just that does the trick. But I am gonna go in now with a little bit of this deeper shimmer shade. And when you're working with eyeshadow brushes, you want to have ones with different densities, so different fluffiness versus thickness. So here's just like a little dense brush right here. I'm just going to apply it, tap it off, and what I'm going to do now, I have hooded eyes, so like it sags over my crease, so I don't go right in my crease or else it would just get sucked up. So if you have hooded eyes like myself, look at yourself in the mirror and then go above your crease, kind of more right underneath your eyebrow bone, and this will kind of become your pretend new crease because as I said, if I put it right in there, it would just get all sucked up and no one would actually see it. So this is a fun tip for those of us who do have a hood to our eyelid, and this has happened to me genetically, but also just as I've gotten older, the hood of my eye has gotten a little bit bigger. I do have remnants of, this is where I had a little snipping done underneath my eye on Tuesday, so it is a little sensitive. So I'm not going to be doing any under eye eyeshadow today as I'm still letting that area heal. So I'm just taking, this is a crease brush, it's a more densely packed brush, and what I've done is I've left it nice and blank up until there, but I'm just blending it out, just taking a slightly deeper shade and just making the edges nice and smooth. See? Yay! Easy eyeshadow. That's what I'm here for. When you do something like this, it also adds dimension, just like I was saying some blush or bronzer might do. So once again, you can see there's where my actual crease is, and then here's the hood of my eyelid, that saggy hood. So I put it right here where I feel that eyebrow bone. And always start off light and small. A crease shade doesn't have to mean it's dark. It just has to be a little deeper. Nothing crazy. You can even do like a nice light pink and just really lightly draw that on and then blend it out and go back and forth. Jessica says, right, I didn't get zits as a teen, but started perimenopause about a year ago and started having breakouts. Yes, so, and that's it. Like pretty much every 5 years of our lives as women, because we go through so many hormonal changes, we have different skin all over again. So your makeup or skincare routine needs to adjust with it, or else you're fixing problems that you no longer have because you have brand new problems and issues. So what you're going through, Jess, is completely normal. My skin has become a bit oilier just within the past 2 years. So I I know that I'm probably destined to have oilier skin as I get older. My mom has oily skin, and for most of my younger adult life, my skin was a bit more on the drier side. So I always thought it was interesting where I'm like, wow, she has oily skin. No, that's just... that's my future, I think, at this point. So you saw maybe I just dipped my brush right back into that deeper color just for a smidge. Building up your eyeshadow color is the way to go rather than going really heavy-handed in the beginning. Less is more because you can always add more. Ta-da! There we go. Feel pretty good with that. Now these eyeshadows do also have eyeshadow primer infused in them. If you have severely oily eyelids, you may want to use an eyeshadow primer as that's going to hold on to them even stronger. But I find for me that the eyeshadows in this pack, the primer that's infused in it works really well for me. And so this is a very simple, I'm not even using 3 shadows. I said I was going to use 3. Let's do it. Let's just do it, right? Because I said I was going to tic-tac-toe. So I'm just going to take that same little brush and I'm just going to put it right here. I'm going to make a little 7. There's an outer V. And for me, I'm doing an outer 7. I'm not even making it a full V. I'm doing the longer portion here. So from my lower lash line up to my brow area. And then I'm going into what I made as my new fake crease. I'm not putting it in my real crease. I'm putting it on that fake one that I just created with that more brownish shade. So having a deeper, darker shade in the outer corner of your eye and keeping things lighter on the inner corner of the eye is a great way to make your eyes look bigger, and make them look a little bit more dramatic as well. So for daytime, you know, I'm going to be wearing this in the day. I am going to extend it into the night. I don't necessarily want to do anything like too smoky, too fancy. Especially because I'm just going to be getting my kids and getting them lemonade for quite some time and doing after school activities. I don't need to be super fancy right now. Let's see. Let's read some comments. Sorry about this. Adria says, large herdy pimples on the chin are a lovely part of menopause process. Aren't we so lucky? Oh no. No, I'm not looking forward to that. Oh goodness. You know, it's funny, with all of my long COVID issues, one of the things that we had to tackle and figure out, so look at that. Doesn't that look like fancy? I mean, compared to wearing no makeup earlier, I feel fancy with this eyeshadow look. And it was just these bottom 3. So anyway, tic-tac-toe, it's going to complement itself. This will take you from like day to day, casual, date night, weddings, like you name it. This palette is all you need. It has a really nice big mirror too. It's my favorite eyeshadow combination. So just because it's so easy to use. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so I feel fancy with that. I feel good with my foundation right now too. I feel really good with it, guys. I'm feeling good. I am gonna add a smidge of highlighter just for funsies, So highlighter has a little bit of a luminosity to it, catches the light. I had a more matte primer because I used this primer right here, which I need to use to finish things off. Do I want to brighten? I have band tonight. I'm like, should I brighten? I'm gonna brighten. I'm gonna brighten for a hot second. Bear with me, friends. Bear with me. Taking my pressed powder compact. You can use my pressed powder under your eyes. You can use my pressed powder even if you have dry skin. It has shea butter infused. So I love to use this for my friends like myself who have physical under eye bags and darkness, because physical under eye bags and pores show up more when it's dewy, because the light catches the texture. But if you have a matte finish on it, it's going to show less of the puffiness, less of the texture. And so I like to use my pressed powder because it helps brighten, plus it helps get rid of the shine. So it's kind of like a 2-in-1 rather than using a cream concealer. Sometimes I use my cream concealer, but I'm telling you, like, this is my go-to. Just do a little bit. I love this powder. I use it as foundation frequently as well, but it really, and so I'm leaving right there just because that's where I had that little procedure done, but in the inner corner, I feel so much better. Yay! All right, let's do some finishing powder and then I'll do some luminizer, shall we? There it is. I got too many things on my table. I misplaced it. It's literally disappeared before my eyes. Oh wow, you guys could see it. Yay! I never know what comes over the camera versus what I see in real life. So I'm telling you, like, get color matched, all right? If you want to get color matched by me, if you don't wear makeup, if you do not wear foundation or blush or bronzer or anything like that, but you have dark under eyes, you're going to want to have the under eye shade, whether it's your creamy concealer or if it's the pressed powder that you use a concealer, that matches your skin tone. You don't want it to be necessarily lighter, because if you don't have everything else going on, it's going to look like you're a reverse raccoon. But if you do foundation or bronzer or blush, like if you have other aspects and you've got some other colors going on and you do want to brighten, then I'll help tell you which shade will also be your concealer shade. So if you do want to get color matched by me, please send me a message, whether it's through my text messaging service or you just message me on social media and say, hey Mary, I want to be color matched. And I don't care if you don't buy anything from me. Just if you just want to know, if you want to keep that in your back pocket and you know your undertone or anything, or if at any point, you know, in the holiday season you want to get something. I just want you to feel empowered and feel confident. But yeah, if you're wearing makeup, we'll choose a concealer shade that is 1 to 2 shades lighter than your regular base foundation. But if you're not really wearing other makeup, it's best to wear one that is the same shade as your face, just to kind of conceal the darkness. So I'm just taking that Prime and Set setting powder. This, once again, is going to lock everything in my face as if it was hairspray for my makeup. This is going to create a really matte look. It's also going to blur out texture. So this is going to give me a really long lasting, like people do Zumba when they use this, just to let you know. So here I am about to go into like crazy hot humidity. This is the thing I'm going to use. There's water encapsulated around the powder, so you don't have to worry about it drying. It's a really cool technology. So those are the two products that if you want a dewy finish, you would do the Prime and Set Mist. If you want a matte finish, you do the Prime and Set Powder. I honestly recommend both if you have texture to your skin, if you're a bit more mature, but just know that all of the products all the face products are on sale at minutewithmary.com, so you could end up getting both products if you wanted to. Love the pressed powder. Yay, Karen. It's so good. It's so good. And I really do. I feel like pressed powder gets a bad rap. And so a lot of people don't believe me when I'm like, this one's different. This one definitely has skincare infused shea butter, and it works so easily. I'm just brushing my brows, not putting anything crazy inside of them. And I do need to get going, so I need to put something on my lips though. All right, let's take that color stick that I was telling you about. I did that for my blush. And this is the shade Cinnamon Latte. It goes on creamy, and it finishes like a lip stain. So I can feel it right now, but in about a minute, I'm not gonna feel like there's anything on my lips. So this is a nice autumnal shade, a nice kind of brownish red. I have several other shades of this product, 10-hour wear, so my cheeks are still going to have that color, but I did want to finish things off with a little bit of highlighter. Can't forget that. So because I mattified my face with that Prime and Set powder to really lock it in, combat the humidity, now I've lost any dewiness. And I like to sometimes add it back in with a little bit of luminizer, and this just catches the light. What I like about this for my friends who have texture, that's the pores, that's the fine lines, you may not want to have shimmer or light catching dewiness on your texture because that shows it more, right? Just like how I got rid of it underneath my eyes. But having a little bit of it does give that youthful look. So to find that happy medium, like, okay, I kind of want to have some dewiness so it looks young, but I also don't want to look like my under eye bags or my pores are really showing. So I like to place it here on this upper portion of my cheekbone. I like to put it right here on the Cupid's bow, so that kind of V of your lips. You'll see people often do it down their nose right here. It's really nice to put a little right here in this inner corner. So we have the darkness in the outer corner and some more light catching in the inner corner. You can put it underneath your brow bone to help give a little bit of a lift. You don't have to do all these places. You could just do one. There we go. Make sure I'm holding it correctly. But right here, and you can see it just catches that light. Right there, so it still gives the appearance of youthful dewy skin, but I mattified the entire thing. So right here, it's just faking it. What is amazing with this creamy kind of powdered highlighter that I have, and I have tons of different shades. This one's called Blushing. I think it's a very nice shade if you do like to put it on your cheeks. It has a hint of pink. People always say, Mary, your skin looks so healthy. Your skin looks so good on days that I wear this. I'm like, ooh, you're seeing this. I mean, yes, I take care of my skin, but I get complimented on how healthy my skin looks because I have this on. Oh, Jessica said, don't get me wrong, you were beautiful before, but wow, this didn't take long and you look great. Thank you. And if I wasn't talking, like a lot of people watch this who are busy people and they say, okay, I don't have 20 minutes, 30 minutes, I don't have this time. Know that this would take me less than 10 minutes, especially if you do it regularly. If you're like, okay, I'm gonna get used to putting on mascara. If that's the first thing you do and you get used to that routine, that's done, you know, in a heartbeat. If you say, okay, I'm gonna start to put on a little bit of foundation, a little bit of color with that all-in-one color stick. A lot of times this week, I have just been wearing my Prime and Set Mist, my foundation, a color stick for my lips, my cheeks, and I use it as my eyeshadow. And then I've been using my lash product, which, where are you? My lash product. So I've been wearing these 4 things. All of these are on sale this month, and 4 things have got me good to go with a brush. So if you do 4 or more things, it continues the 25% off. So good to go. Thank you. Thanks for tuning into this Minute with Mary. If you have any questions, shoot me a message. This is what I love to do. I love to help teach. I love to help you feel more confident and creative when it comes to your makeup and your skincare. As I said, I hadn't been able to find someone like me to share these kind of tips, so it's something that I take great pride in. And when you let me know that you've learned something, know that it makes me feel so incredibly good, like like I've done my job for today. So thank you for tuning in. I do have a love it guarantee. If you buy something from me and you try it out within the first 2 weeks of getting it and you don't love it, the color's not right, maybe you don't know how to, it's just not working for you, you get 100% of your money back, no questions asked, and I do not suffer. I don't lose any of my compensation, I don't get in trouble or anything like that. Like, I want you to love it, and if you don't, you get your money back, and there's no harm done to me. If within 90 days, so that is 3 months, you don't like it. For example, say you get foundation, and then in 3 months from now, you're super duper pale like a vampire, and it doesn't work for you anymore because it's just not the right shade. Rather than just tossing it in your drawer and essentially having wasted it, you can within the 90-day period get product credit. So you could get a different shade, you could get a different style or something like that. So know that I work hard for my money, and I want to make sure that what I buy is great, high quality, and that I use it. And I feel the same way for you and your money. So I am honored when people choose to shop through me, but also know that I 100% stand by my guarantee, whether it's getting you your money back or product credit so you can try something different. I just want you to be happy. I want you to be happy. So thank you so incredibly much for hanging on out on this Minute with Mary. If you learned something, you can even do me a favor and hit that share button and share it with a friend, share it on your wall or in your stories, and you can share with your friends what you learned from today. I love meeting new people and helping others, and I appreciate you for taking the time to hang on out. I'll talk with you soon. Once again, minutewithmary.com has all the things you saw here today, and I'll talk with you soon.